Hey, aloha everyone. Michelle Melendez with blossominnerwellness.com, standtogetherhawaii.com, and this is also on the Voice of Kona Radio 100.5 FM. Mahalo so much for everybody for joining and looking at and watching these shows. This show is going to blow your mind. So I have always asked, I would always walk through the farm and I always look up at the sky and I always ask, I just want to know the truth. Just tell me the truth, just show me the truth. And that has led me to Desert Owl. Desert Owl, he has an amazing show of his own, and I will leave that in the description below. And he is some of his videos have really brought everything together for me, for my own journey. And before we get into the conversation today, because we are going to first talk about why Maui was sacrificed, because Maui was attacked, and that's the very first thing we're going to talk about. But before we do, I have to do a couple thank yous, much mahalos to my sponsor of this show, who is aceofcoins.com. If you want to learn how to legally stop paying taxes, lower your taxes, have better accounting for your business, if you want to learn how to license your biometric data, which big tech is using your face for money, and if you want to learn how to license this, if you want to learn how to get cryptocurrency tax-free, please go to aceofcoins.com, ACEOFCOINS.com, and tell them Michelle sent you. I also wanted to do a big old mahalo to Kay, who made this dragonfly. Okay, I always wear my dragonfly earrings. Dragonfly is a symbol of hope. It's one of the symbols of hope. And she made this for me, and I have to send her much, much mahalo. And she also sent a few other things. So much mahalo, Kay. And also Michael for donating to my Zelle account. So if this calls to you, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to donate, please check out the links in the description. Let's get to the show. Desert Owl, thank you so much for joining. He has been studying ancient history for 53 years. So I just want a brief description, Desert, about what got you into this and what exactly have you been studying? What books have you been looking at and researching? Because your show is absolutely phenomenal. So much mahalo for joining me.
Well, thank you, Michelle. Great to be here, and love your energy. And 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 thank you for reaching out. Because it, media, is really an interesting animal today. Because when we're going to talk about the whodunit stuff, that they literally control all sides. And I knew in school, because you wanted me to kind of like move forward from, how did I get here? I wasn't happy in school, and at one point, by 10th grade, I knew that the teachers didn't care about me, my family didn't care about me. I was pretty much on my own, in my life, because all my parents were divorced and they went in their own directions. So literally, we have to grab whatever we can wherever we can, and I hated school, but I loved learning history. That was a passionate thing for me. And um and then by the time so I started studying the ancient Mayan and Aztec civilizations, how they failed, through lack of their own engineering. They knew they were so smart, but they didn't know how to do alternating patterns in growing fields and leaving fields fallow for once every 7 years. So those type of thing, then I just at age 16 read the scriptures, which was so important for me because I really was a loner in my initial walk, and didn't really have parents that cared. Then I was able to identify with the spirit, mother, father, spirit of creation, and then, like, when I would watch the stupid programs on television, like a lot of the Christian, quote unquote, evangelist type programs, and like I never forget this one statement where this one guy says, don't look at nature. God's not in nature. Don't look over there. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's like
Wow.
nature is the manifestation of the great breath of the great spirit, and so it is the road signs or the markers that point the way back, because everything is based on symbol. And if we can interpret the symbol, just like you got two trees behind you, we are two trees right here that are speaking in the metaphor, where we have a tree of life, a legacy that is our family tree. And so all of nature is speaking in metaphor. Meta means beyond the mind, It's beyond. So we have to reach higher up and go somewhere we've never been before in order to be able to see things we've not seen before. So basically then I dropped out of 10th grade and got on with my I used to say education, but now I know educate, ed, as an editor means to remove. So if you are educated, you don't know very much, because what we want to talk about is enlightenment, because that's the distinction between the two words. So they took away from school, they removed everything important about real law, everything about real money, anything that would make us be free thinkers or objective. They got out of school. You just do what you're told to do, and these are the answers. If you don't like them, you'll fail. Don't give me any other solutions. Or yeah, so they just regimented us to become good slaves and work on the plantation, and don't complain, and they'll give us benefits. They'll make us think we're free,
Mhm.
and when we're not,
Yeah,
and we don't know who we are. You can't be free if you don't even know who you are or where you
that's
come
right.
from.
That's right. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And that is where the journey started, you guys. And he's been studying this stuff for 53 years. So the first thing I wanted him to share about is, why was Maui attacked? Now he's gone through some of this stuff. Is going to probably blow your mind if you've never heard this before. I've been studying this for a while, so some of it I was like, oh yeah, and here's what I've been looking for. But my biggest thing right now is, why was Maui attacked? We all know that that was not a normal wildfire. All these fires around are not normal. They're burning us down. So, but why Maui? Why Maui? I want to cry, but that's okay.
Right. Well, it started actually officially with Paradise. We have to mention Paradise before we get to Maui, because that was the first one. And there's your metaphor again, because Paradise is a metaphor for our beautiful planet, we could say, but also Paradise implying the state of being in the mind, of being set free and being on another level that's beyond this world. So the first thing they go after is a town called Paradise, and it was a test pilot program. At that time on YouTube, we had a lot more freedom to actually engage each other, and a lot of the things that other researchers were pointing out, was coming from a lot of different angles. And I remember actually seeing them using craft in the sky that was sending out some type of a pulsating beam, and it created like a smoke ring, so you could literally see something in the dark up there coming, with smoke rings coming down. Then they were also geoengineering above the canopy at the same time, and Dane Wigington brings that out a lot. What were they?
Yeah.
Why were they spraying above the fire location at the time of the fire? And then of course we know with the geoengineering that's already occurred, everything's been laced the sparkler dust. Max Egan was the first one I heard come out with that notion that the aluminum, barium, strontium, the plastics, all the things that they're putting in this fine dust is incendiary, and therefore it's just like sparkler. You light a sparkler and everything goes. That's why when you see these fires, when the normal forest fires, because I've been seeing that stuff a long time, through my life, and therefore when a fire passes through, it passes through and it's done. But here, when we see the fires today, the ground is on fire, still burning, with hot red fire coming out of the ground, showing that it's been laced with through continual rain and the polluted rain that we have. It's been primed for disaster. Okay,
Yeah, and
that's
I want to just jump in. Bruce Douglas from Maui actually sent a sample of the ash in the soil to a laboratory who tested it, and they found more heavy metals and toxins in the ash, 90% in the ash, than in the 6 inches of soil he sent. So there was something put on the top of
yeah.
the
So
soil.
something at the last moment, it being brought into the picture that's not normally there either.
Mm.
Okay, yeah. And so so I knew about Project Bluebeam, because I worked. Let me qualify it. I after got stuck in a truck for a year, listening to talk radio. Then I realized that we're not in Kansas anymore, because I kept hearing people repeat things over and over. And so as a result, I did my own research, and then
That's the channel you're on.
realized that
Okay.
I realized that oh gee, I'm having a scene aluminum moment now. I gotta hang in there. Let me breathe deep. Everything's all right, Desert. What was the question again? Where were we going?
Yeah, we're talking about Maui. We're just talking about Maui was attacked. Just Maui was sacrificed, burning of the paradise,
Yeah, okay.
and
And so what I was seeing was these different technologies. There was one where it looked like little fireflies were blowing on the ground, and they weren't real embers. They looked like embers, but they weren't. And these have been seen actually in Maui during the fire. Someone was, I think, photographing some of that as well.
that's right.
There was a lot of footage that came out through different people in Maui, and when you piece it all together, you get a picture, just like of Eric
Eric West, yeah.
West. Yeah, he interviewed a lot of people, and they were given the reports. He did a great job,
Hmm.
and so doing Paradise was is a microcosm of the macrocosm that is coming. That's why they call it paradise, but it's a metaphor for Earth because they're proud. The people running our world are proud of the fact that they are the destroyers. They claim to be the builders, and then after they're done building their great civilizations, they like to take them down. And because this has happened throughout history, it's called the
Yes.
Phoenix. Every 500-year cycle, the Phoenix flies back to Egypt, and then burns up in its ashes, and out comes another serpent. It said that in the mythology they wrote worm, but it's the serpent. It's a serpent cult that is resurfacing again through cycle. And the serpent cult is idealized in the Vatican with the Pope wearing the hat of Dagon, which is really dragon, and the dragoon is the serpent, drags on the ground.
So I just want to share with everybody this stuff. If it's going over your head, just keep listening because you're gonna grasp it. Like when I first started learning this stuff, I was like, "What?" It was mind blowing to me, and now I get it. Now I can see the whole picture because Rome is the religious seat of this empire. The city of London is the financial seat, and the Washington D.C. is the military industrial complex. It's the military arm of this cult empire, these people that run the world. But so Desert Owl's talking about how Maui was paradise. Paradise represents the earth, and that it needed to, and it also was the test run of what they wanted to do or what they are doing with the
Yeah,
entire world.
yeah,
So
and it
yeah,
looks
thank
like
you.
it was the first test of three because after that I think we go to Malibu, and they had a lot of houses burn, and they showed all the evidence again that there was not normal. It was not a normal fire. There was a lot of like it was concluded by people thanks to like the work of Deborah Tavares, that the meters put on the house could be activated to catch on fire. There's been photographs of them catching on fire. And so then from Malibu, then from there, then we go to Maui. There may have been other events happening in South America because all the news is being filtered now. So it could be happening in multiple places around the world we're not familiar with. But when it comes to Maui, Maui is symbolic as well because, and I didn't know this until I finally got it through one of the people talking about it. But the Maui culture is the seat of the royal family, the Hawaiian royal family,
Right.
and so therefore that's why it becomes a real target in this story. Why it happened to them versus another, and these things or these plans are laid long term. And therefore, the fact that they have a military complex there or observatories or whatever, underground facilities, they're building all this with the intent in the future to know what they're going to do with the people that are in their way, the people that they have no care about, the people that actually think Washington, D.C. is legitimate when it's just really a front. And because just before the program we were talking, there's no New World Order. It's an old world order, an old
Very old.
regime.
Very, very old.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
thousands of years. And that's what I talk about on the Forbidden History. So when we get to Maui now, then as people may have picked up on, they actually prior to the event, I don't know how long it was on a can, but they actually published a couple cans of Mountain Dew. One of them was Maui, right? And then the other
Yes.
one was
Oh man.
Baja, right? The
You
Baja.
got, yeah, you guys, I want to share one thing, and I'll bring it up in a second. But the Monster can, it actually has the symbol 666, which people don't realize it's Hebrew, It's a three, looks like a reverse seven,
Yeah.
I think, on there, and that's actually 666. These symbols are everywhere. So we just don't recognize them because we don't think we're being manipulated, and we don't like that's we're just trying to live our lives going through, okay, oh,
Yeah.
monster drink, monster 666. It's like it's the reverse. So I'll show you guys that, but keep going, Desert,
Yeah.
with Maui on go ahead.
Absolutely. So called predictive programming. Then they put on a can the Maui punch, or what do you remember what it was called? The Maui
Let me
burst,
look
Maui
here.
burst, something like that. Because
First.
then there was the Baja version, and it all happened within 1 week. Maui catches on fire, burns down, and then a week later there's a hurricane that goes right into the Baja, right? And they're both on Mountain Dew cans.
Yeah, here it
And
is. Maui Burst. It's on Mountain
uh-huh.
Dew.
The Maui burst and then
Yeah.
Baja Blast. I think it was Baja
Baja
Blast.
Blast.
Yeah. And so, you can't make this stuff up, but what it shows is the predictive programming. And
Mhm.
as soon as anybody could see that, most people would not be looking for it. We're not conscious of these things. Um, and
Take this off. Stop share. I can find it.
yeah. So basically I see these as symbolic: paradise, Malibu, just like Maui, and the symbolic nature of the names, or the symbolic state where you're at, a former paradise they've just destroyed, and therefore they're taking it down. And I just want to say with the flag, the first evidence that
Here's the
the
Baja
the
Blast.
Hawaii. Oh, okay, another one.
Yeah, this is the Baja Blast
The
one.
Baja Blast. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So the
The flag.
yeah, the flag, is the evidence of when the Hawaiian natives lost their land, because as soon as they put the uh what do the British call their flag? The oh, come on, with the X and the cross.
Oh, that's what's on the Hawaiian flag.
Yeah, I'm trying. There's a name for it, but anyway, the British flag, the British Empire. It's empire
Union
worldwide.
Jack.
Where the Union Jack.
The
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, it's where the sun never sets. They're saying they own the world. The sun never sets on the empire, and so when the Hawaiian people, who are innocent, primitive, ignorant, meaning that they just didn't know enough, have enough information about what symbols mean from the modern world.
This is all
Uh,
of us, you guys. We're all ignorant with this
yeah, what?
because we just trusted. Like your
Yeah,
parent, you just learn from your parent, and you don't expect your parent to be lying to you and wanting to murder you. So basically, the cross here is represents all four corners. Is that correct?
a cross means everywhere. The one word
Everywhere.
definition for cross is everywhere, but this type of cross also implies Knights Templar who just went underground and changed their names into Freemasons and other things like that, and
Mhm.
banking. And so when the Hawaiian flag, this is in the top square.
That's
There's a
right.
top square, and so whatever is in the square is speaking. And just like with the United States flag, we think it means the 50 U.S. states, but it's a metaphor with those 50 stars in the Masonic square. It's a metaphor for the states of the world united. Just like, so at the same time we had Soviet Union. There's your double-headed eagle, and Union means world union. World Union. So we've got United States, but it's the states of the world, and you got World Union, Soviet meaning world. So therefore, it's both sides of the eagle are claiming world domination by the very name of their, the symbolic images here. So,
So I want to
so
show really quick the Hawaiian flag really quick. So some
yeah.
people don't know it. This is the
Yeah.
Hawaiian flag with the Union flag, the British UK Union flag up in the left-hand corner,
Mhm.
and then red, white, and blue. And the
Yeah.
red, white, and blue is actually this has been thousands of years. These colors, you guys. This isn't an accident. This has been going on. And then what was the flag? The Eagles. Which one were you talking about with the Eagles? Desert.
Well, just that the double-headed eagle represents the right paradigm, left paradigm, where they control both sides. They always have to have an opposite, right? So we always have to have an enemy. So we got, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, or North Korea, South Korea, communist China, nationalist Formosa, Taiwan, which they could take out in a day if they wanted to, but they keep it there to have that boogeyman if they need a boogeyman or to create a firestorm or a diversion. So they have these, good guy, bad guy situations ready to go all the time. They've been doing it from Babylon and Assyria, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, and what they're doing is they're perfecting their again, this what happened to Paradise Malibu and Maui. I look at them like test pilot programs. They're starting on a microcosm, but the macrocosm is that when they're ready to pull their final stunt, which may happen before this year is out, we'll see giant. We see now how they're playing up the UFO sensation. Oh, we're being visited, and and so the toxic environment of the geoengineering with aluminum not only ruins your health and shortens your memory, but it and creates a fire, the potential for a bad fire that can't be put out easily. It also the aluminum suspended in the air allows to make a hologram in the sky. And so there will this is all being brought to us by the head of NASA, former SS Nazi stormtrooper, mass murderer Werner von Braun, who in the end decided he'd rather be a family man and tell the truth about what was about to happen on his deathbed, shared it all with his secretary, said that the final card they're going to play will be a phony alien invasion, and the motherships won't be real. But that's the hologram. But what comes out of them are the smaller craft that real pilots are flying, and they'll be, ray gunning or whatever method they use and they're going to burn everything down. They're going to burn
So
everything down. Yeah.
I want to tell everybody this isn't about fear. This is about knowing, because when you know what's coming, you can prepare, and you can also start to create a stronger relationship with your higher power. Because there is also, this is a war of darkness and light, of evil. I don't say evil and good, but there is a higher power. This is why I do prayers after every single show, because we can raise our frequency to have that, to get insights from this higher power. This is how I've been living my life most of my life, because I always go, okay, universe, God, source, infinite intelligence, what's next? What's next for my business? What's next for my life? And then I just let it go, and I trust, and I'm inspired to do something. I was inspired to watch deserts. He's written to me. He's sent me videos. We actually were supposed to do an interview, I think, last year, and then I was watching you again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because I was looking for those pictures of the black hats with every single president, which is the next part I want to go into. But there is a darkness here that has been here for thousands of years, you guys, running the show. And our job, what I truly feel and believe, is our job is to wake up to it. And we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be afraid. We get into the relationship with our higher power, and we start to get inspired to take whatever action we're supposed to take. And we just trust. And you trust that we're here. My friend Maata says, Michelle, we wouldn't be here if we didn't win. There's a reason why we came. So no fear. But Desert has a ton of information. So Desert, let's go to the black hats with all the presidents, because all I want to do is help wake people up to see what's coming, so we can just prepare. And the last thing I want to share before I give it back over to you is get to know your farmers. Start growing your own food. They are destroying the food. We know this. We already know this. Okay. It's not about fear. It's about preparing and planning. Start to learn how to grow food, staples, potatoes, taro, ulu, these things like that. So Desert, take it away with the men in black.
I need to put my vest on. It's getting cold here, and
Okay, sure.
they're
Then I'm
dumping
going to
on the East
show,
Coast. I'll be right back.
okay, sure. I'm going to show everybody what we were talking about with the what is it called? The monster drink, because everybody looks at that and goes, it doesn't see what's right in front of your face, one in front of our face, I should say.
Hmm.
I didn't see it either until somebody told me, and I was like, what? And then I looked it up. Okay, this is monster, right? This is
Mm.
monster. This is a symbol. So let me show you guys. Move this screen over here. What is the six in Hebrew?
Mm-hmm.
That's the letter
Yep.
six.
And
And go ahead.
well, I just want to add, because we have a misimpression of 666, we see it only as evil, but literally, um, as you know, through the scriptures, we learned that the earth was, everything was brought forth in six periods. The six great ages, actually, not six 24-hour
Oh,
periods, but six great ages. And so six is the number of man. We've heard that term. We use
that's
it,
a
and
carbon.
then typically we're 6 feet tall, right? And so six is deals with creation, and the number six itself is the Fibonacci symbol. It's unfolding in a Fibonacci sequence.
It is
Yeah. And so you, right. And that's,
spiral.
so everything unfolded from the light, from the sun, all, this planets, the earth, the moon, Venus, at least not, I don't know about the giant gaseous orbs, but the smaller planets, and the moons came out of the sun. They're children of the sun. And I even have video that shows the sun giving birth to a planet, and can provide that one day to show you. But so six is the number of man. And man is not even the right term, by the way, since I hate using bad terms anymore. But man in Old English means criminal and sinner, and in the Babylonian Talmud, man means monster.
Oh.
And so there's your monster right there in the word man. So we don't now. I got the guys. I got to give you bad news. You don't want to be a man, okay? But the word,
You want to be
is,
a living a male?
well, you can say sentient being, male,
Sentient being. There we go.
male, male, and but also the term in the Aramaic originally was um, Aisha, Aisha, because Aisha means royal eye. And so if I'm an Aishan, the N at the end means that which came down from the light, the Aishan, the royal eye of creation, come down. And so six, I clarified now, six is the number of man. So if we talk about the earth, we can see evidence that they know this is true, that earth is 66, because we have a petroleum company that grabs the mineral resource out of the ground called Phillips 66. And then there was a highway going from the East Coast
Lot
to the West Coast
66.
called Highway 66.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're telling you they know that it's the earth is represented by 66. And then on the macro, from the micro 6 to the macro is 666, and that's the number of the sun. So they're claiming to be stars. So the reason they embrace the number 666 is they're saying they got the power of the sun, and we're coming for you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. You see that? So that's why, like
Wow.
Kushner on Broadway or wherever in New York, right? The son-in-law of Trump, he's got on his building 666. And we think it's
Wow.
just evil, but don't they claim to be stars? They got Hollywood
You're
movie
right.
stars.
You're right. You
Yeah,
just totally schooled me. I freaking love that about you. And that's the thing is they've inverted everything. They have inverted everything.
yeah.
And that's so
And,
so yes, it's a lot, you guys, to digest.
and,
So just take your time with this stuff. Go ahead,
and one
Desert.
cap off on that. So in the book of Revelations, it's been proven out by all the independent scholars, not by the committees, not the Jesuit run translation projects, but the independent researchers all prove out the same thing. There is no 666 in the book of Revelations. It said that it was six, and therefore it's a serpent, and the serpent is man. That's the beast, you see? And so man is the problem, right? Isn't he the one creating problems for us? Right? The criminal and sinner.
Well, that's what they're telling us. So that, and this is what I've said a long time, well, not a long time ago, but a while back, I was talking about the Bible and how it's not what we think it is. It is not what we think it is, because the Vatican Church is the one that wrote it. And it's so that's, I don't even want to get started with that topic. But let's go back to the Men in Black, because I do
Okay.
want everybody to see that it is not the president that runs the United States. He is a puppet, you guys. It doesn't matter who's in. And it's like people are going, Michelle, you're going to vote for this person and that person. I'm like, no, because it's a total corporation. It doesn't matter who we vote for. They're going to put in who they want to put in for the next cycle of this game that they're playing with us. So our job is to wake up, to get out of the system as best we can, and start living a free life and get the relationships that you want, clean up your relationships, and get a relationship with your higher power. Go ahead, Desert.
Are we sharing screen right now? Can you see
Yes,
it?
I can see your desktop.
Okay, so I'm good to go. So let me open up the file here. And so I had seen periodically these graphics of who I knew. I knew quite a while back that banking, the Federal Reserve, like probably in the last century, that the Federal Reserve was running the show here. Now I know that they it was actually the Vatican agents, the Jews, the Rothschild are another front, but Jews in general, Ashkenazis, their correct name, Ashkenazi Khazars,
The
Khazar
Khazar Mafia.
Aryans, yeah, and they're so the but who they like to call themselves Jews. It's not their real name. It's a cover. It's another front, and so they literally run the banks of the world, and they even run the British Empire. So it was the Illuminati. They came out with a new front the day they say the Illuminati founded America, May 1st for May Day, May Day, 1776. They also officially founded international communism in Red Square in Russia, and they celebrated in Red Square in Russia every May 1st since 1776 when they created the new phony state of America, which America is a Toltec god Quetzalcoatl, and Americu. It means the feathered serpent. It's synonymous with the phoenix, and so we were their creation, and now they're taking us down with the fire. The phoenix is about to burn up. It's been just over 500 years since Columbus did the official phony discovery of America, and it was all laid out and designed by Francis Bacon. With this round, this 500-year cycle that they're finishing now. And so these signs and these signs and symbols, they tell us who rule the world. And that's why this particular presentation, this slide presentation, which is part one, and part two will come out in just a few days, is so important because I'm attempting to show people patterns and then the symbol itself, what it represents in these patterns that we see, because we don't ever react to them. In other words, that what I used to say a couple decades back when I was learning all this stuff, that our problem is we never learned how to read, and we don't. It's not just
Yeah.
reading words on a page because they changed the words, but it's reading symbols, reading color, it's reading shape, it's reading nature, it's reading this script. Everything has a potential voice if you know how to read. And
Yeah.
so I read a couple books on symbolism cover to cover, an encyclopedia on symbolism, and another one that came out of Spain written by a Jesuit, an artist. And so I did the legwork, and therefore they can't hide from me. And that's what happened when I was in the ancient past. Then one day when I became a political activist back around 1990 thereabouts, started developing my first organization to help wake people up. Back then, um, the
Wow. That back then that must have been
yeah, what
that must have been
what
even
I
harder.
you see, I had just prior to that 20 years of ancient history, and I was studying secret societies in ancient history, and and then of course the scriptures as well, which is a lot of it's all symbolism in many ways. It's literal and symbolic in the scriptures, and so I was amazed when I got in as a political activist that wait a minute, they're speaking in a code. I immediately recognized they were speaking in code, and I could interpret their code right out the
Wow.
gate, and that definitely drew me in, because now I realized that I was able to see them, like they say, the king has no
No
clothes, when
clothes.
you can
Yeah.
see them. So the quote is very significant. See, they took away. Uh, Confucius had a quote.
So
He said,
Desert, I want to bring you back in. Let's just
"Yeah,
start the thing because I want to show them the
all right,
house. Yeah,
let's do
yeah.
it. Here we
Because
go.
you have such a plethora of information. We could go on for a week,
Thank you."
and I hope we do because I hope this isn't our first and last. And I hope we do many many videos because this stuff needs to get out.
All right.
So red pill, blue pill, you guys.
My associate in Australia did some of these graphics. Ninja, she does great work. I couldn't do it without her.
That's, that's awesome. Can you go just to the pictures of the black hats so we can just
Okay,
see those
we're
parts?
about one away. I just want them.
Oh, okay, okay.
We really need to qualify it because then the impression will be even better. Here, this is what Disraeli said: the world is governed by a people far different than those imagined by the public. Benjamin Disraeli, Prime Minister of Great Britain, 1868. So he's letting out a little truth. He didn't really spill the beans, or he would be in disfavor. His name is Disraeli. There's the word Israel right there. American politics is the entertainment division of the entertainment politics division of the Jewish Federal Reserve Bank. Okay, they're entertaining us. They're keeping us under the spell. Their
And
spell.
everything is entertainment. We're talking, I wish that people who loved the Super Bowl cared about this more than the Super Bowl. This
Yeah.
would be over. We could be done with this.
Okay, and so there's the Federal Reserve. Look how big and it's like an ancient monument, you know. And so now we've got George Bush. Um, uh, as the person here, I just want to pause on this one for a minute because there's so much I'm putting on the table here. Um, and so I have on the top left orange curtains because orange in part two of my slide video that's coming out in a few days, I show all of the orange, all these different snapshots of the orange, and the orange represents India, the Hindu front and Brahmin priesthood of India. From ancient time, they're the ones that were running the world. So the flag in India has orange and white and green bars, and the orange represents the 33 degree of the Freemasonry. And so we got the guy with the unseen hand, that circle. George Bush was
Don't say anything
a
about JFK. I just want to
don't
keep
say
my channel.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, they can read
Everybody can
that.
see it. You can read it. And those of you on the radio, you can this video was on my channel. Go to Stand
Yeah,
Together Hawaii.com. Click
but
on the YouTube channel.
but it's the Brotherhood of Death that is running America at the top of the pyramid with all the Freemasons under them. So they're a special elite that's been groomed, and it's generational. Continuing.
Yes, yes. So if you're again listening on the radio, go to standtogetherhawaii.com. You'll click on the YouTube link, and this will be on my YouTube channel. Uh, and yeah, and then we'll go to the next one shortly. But everything is symbolism, you guys. And these men, who are they, are in with all of these presidents.
I'll read this one if some people can't see it.
Sure.
There is only one power which really counts, the power of political pressure. We Jews are the most powerful people on earth because we have this power and we know how to apply it. Jewish Daily Bulletin, July 27th, 1935.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So this goes back to thank you. That was President Bush Jr.
Well, we're coming there. I just fast forwarded it.
Okay.
Okay. Come on.
And Disney, there was something Walt. I think you were the one who was telling me what Walt
Walt
means,
means
but
control. The W is a corruption. It's a V, and so you get vault. And so you put things in your vault if you want them controlled, right? To control them, and nobody gets them. So here we got puppy dog George Bush, a victim of the Babylonian Talmud himself by his father, George Bush. This guy, I always joke, they must lock him up in a closet every night, to make sure he didn't do anything wrong. Then we got Obama. And see, they do these cameo shots because they want to get it out. They always tell you what they're doing, and then
I
of
know
course,
everybody. So pause this for a second. I
right.
know everybody believes Trump is our savior, and I believed it too. I was out there on the road with a huge flag, Trump flag, but then he started promoting the V and also the remdesivir, and I was like, wait a minute. And I started looking deeper. He is part of the controlled opposition, you guys. And the reason why I'm saying this is because look at the division of the United States. And I'm not saying he didn't do great things. We had the lowest unemployment for women and minorities under him. We had the best economy under him. But look at the strategy of it. If you want to do something over here, make a big fuss over here and nobody will look over there. And what does Trump do? He's a perfect diversion. So go for it, Desert.
Yeah, he's the guy everybody wants to like. It's not hard. But a little footnote. You know about the adrenal chrome that they get from the tortured little ones, right?
Yeah, we got to watch that language there.
Okay, okay.
But yes,
It deadheads into Trump Tower. The address that receives them is Trump Tower. Okay, he's a Jesuit. That's bottom line. He's a Jesuit, and he's an agent. The captain of the Titanic was a Jesuit. He was commanded to take it down because of the
that's
wealthy
right.
of America. You know that would be in opposition to a communist centralized bank that we're showing you right here. The people that went down on the attack on the Titanic want to prevent what we're
Yes.
showing right now in this imagery.
They did, yes. The people who went down, the people who died in the Titanic were the people that could have stopped the Federal Reserve Bank from
Yeah,
happening.
absolutely. Okay, and
And
continue.
yeah, so just this is just for awakening, everybody. I'm not meant to scare you, but this is the world for whatever reason. Each one of our higher selves came and look at this: fear, hate, lie, bully, brag. What happens when he says something that's off the wall? The media goes crazy. The people go crazy.
He even told on one of his uh tours when he was running for office, he even told the serpent story. Do you remember the serpent story?
No,
Uh,
I don't watch him
okay, he
anymore.
told about how this woman took in a serpent that was sick and nurtured it, and then in the end the serpent bites her, and he says, "Well, you knew I was a serpent from the beginning." And so this the reason that he told the serpent story was is these are the serpent cult. They're a serpent cult, all of them. And so I put the captions on different areas so people will get the picture. You know, there's no time to mince words. These people, I absolutely hate us. They can call us goy and which means cattle,
That's
and
right.
cattle is chattel, meaning slave slave yeah slave like the word capital, right? In Washington, capital is kappa tail. Kappa means head, tail is tally for count. So capital literally means the head count.
Oh
You see, and they're
gosh.
counting our heads.
That's right.
We're the property that they're negotiating with and putting on Wall Street. Wall Street, where they used to sell slaves, literally. They have us there today as on a birth certificate, earning a commercial profit for them, some in one way or another.
So if you
Okay.
want to learn how to get out of the system, there's other websites that are really great. Mine is the Freedom School, and I have really easy steps that you can take. And I am going to be taking people through that live. But go to standtogetherhowaboutyou.com, click on Freedom School, and you can check that out. Go ahead, Desert.
Yeah, it's still moving forward. So
Okay,
we'll
cool.
yeah to this
Yeah,
one in a
so
second.
this is heavy, and I know. Oh, look, here's this is the current president shaking the current Biden shaking the hands of these black hats, and under the guise of Judaism. And here's
Yeah,
Tony Blair.
it's all the show.
He's all to show you guys, and I know it's
Yeah,
hard to believe. And if you're
right.
first hearing this one, and here's Prince Charles with the Jewish cap on.
Yeah. Let me just go back to the prime minister for a minute. Oh, come on,
Sure.
I hit the wrong one. Hang on.
Yeah, go
Uh,
for it.
where we
So if
go?
you guys are watching again, standtogetherhawaii.com. And also if you want to learn more from Desert Owl, his link is going to be in the description. So you can go to his channel. Way amazing stuff there. And this does break your heart a little bit because you realize that the world is nothing what you thought it was. But
Yeah.
the reason why I wanted to share this is because awakening is really important. Getting into nature, growing your own food, getting familiar with your farmers, and also your relationships with people and with your higher power. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have here a former prime minister, and so what we see is that the king doesn't rule. The king and queen, they reign. If they rule, then they're in charge. But if they're reigning, they're benefiting from their wealth and their prestige, but they're not ruling. The prime minister and the parliament rules, but they're the go-between, because the parliament is only doing what they're told to do, because who's really ruling is the city of London. It is the Jewish Rothschild banking family, a la the Vatican, that run Great Britain. And let me not lose my thought here. So therefore, the prime minister is a front
Mhm.
for the Lloyd's of London, City of London banking district, which is a city state within London, and so that happened at the time of when Napoleon lost the war at Waterloo. Then the Rothschilds bought up all the property and holdings of the royal families for a penny on the dollar because they were convinced they needed to flee because Napoleon was coming for them next. And instead, it was all prearranged, that this would happen. And so when we were set free from Britain, we thought we were. Um, who is Britain? Britain is the banking. That's who runs the show. That's who owns everything. And so they simply created an illusory front that we were a free nation because slaves will work better if they think they're free and happy. To take a shower and not be told when to take a shower, or to be able to go to the store, buy their food. They really think they're free because they can do those things, but have no idea that their whole life has been controlled and managed, and that nothing is real. So it's fronts. We're dealing with fronts, and that's why nobody can get past the front, because behind it is the other thing that's hiding, and people are not, they're too busy being a good slave, to figure this stuff out. It's a miracle that I'm able to figure it out.
And again, this is not about fear. This is about awareness. This is for whatever reason, great, we each decided, our spirits decided to come into this planet and be here at this time. And I feel that it's important for each one of us to know the truth. I'm so about the truth. Just tell me the truth, and then do what we are inspired to do.
We'll learn how
Learn
to
more
deal with
about
it.
this. Yes, and live your life, but also know what the truth is and help share it, and then be prepared. And that's, and trust in that higher power, because there is a divine infinite intelligence here. Go ahead, Desert.
And so these people, you see, so what I'm pointing out here is that he's the king. He's a king by name, right? But what is he in charge with? He doesn't rule the government. Well, what does he rule? He's the head of all international Freemasons, 5 million Masons around the world, half of them in America, about 2.5 million Masons in the world, and they have no allegiance to this land. They are allied and under the authority of the King of England, and have been since King James, who was the founder of international Freemasonry. And that's why the King James Version is so important to be propped up, because it's the first Bible of the Illuminati um, um, royal family, as a front again for the international Jews, because the Jews are the ones who control the translation, the King James and all the other translations. And how they did it is they got Erasmus, a secret agent of theirs, to give the parallel columns in Switzerland of the Greek and the Latin. And so everyone from Tyndale to the others that came later, the other Matthew's Bible, you name it, they all used the corrupted source. And that's why they're all very similar to each other, because they already controlled the words from the Latin and the Greek. And that's how they did it. Let's move on.
King James Version. King James Version of the Bible. So that right there says a lot.
Yeah, it took
and
a
this
lot.
is Prince Charles, heir to the British throne, getting poked on the chest. So those of you who can't hear on the radio, it's a picture of Prince Charles getting poked by Evelyn de Rothschild.
Right. And
so,
then
yeah, go ahead. And and check out this imagery, you guys. For those of you who can't see, it's King James II in red, white, and blue with the banker's cross. The cross again. There's the cross again. And go for it.
Think of the Red Cross, right? Because we know that.
Who is this? Who is it? Wait, go to that page.
Come in. All right, but let me just, I got to say,
ahead, sorry.
Because you had a disaster down there, and the only thing the Red Cross was willing to do was bury the dead, because that's what they want. That's what they like. They want everyone dead, because we're talking about secret societies, and they are that cross is the Knights Templar cross. We always thought of them as the good guys, but they work for the Vatican. The Vatican is the headquarters of banking, international banking, running the world as a serpent cult. So these symbols mean everything. They live by the symbol. They don't tell you who they are. They show you who you are, but nobody knows how to read.
Ukraine. Who is this? The president of Ukraine with
an actor,
the Men in Black, and an actor. They actually found him,
yeah,
and they paid him to do this. So I'm going to have you pause the video there, Desert, because this is getting to be a long video. So
Yeah.
I want to pause this one. We're going to do another part section in a moment here, but I do want to end this part. Is there anything else that you want to share? Go ahead and click on stop screen so we
Stop
can
screen.
just have a little
Okay.
powwow before we end this piece. There's going to
Mhm.
be a couple different parts of this. Maui was sacrificed. It was an attack. And the reason is paradise burning. So go ahead and just share any other last bits that you want to share about Maui and any other last things about, I just so to end this part.
Yeah, well, we know that the fire of Maui in Maui was strategically coordinated because they locked the streets, and people burned in their automobiles. People even burned in the water. These energy ray devices came down to people right in the water and slaughtered them. And so the only thing they regret is that they didn't get to kill more people, because if it worked out the way they really planned on it, had twice as many people would have been dead. And it's just that there were so many outlets that people could still escape this devastating work, and so people have hope to rebuild. But we know about the Agenda 21 stuff, or 2030, all these different smart cities and all this other stuff. They're running the show, they're pushing the ball, it's their ball, and so literally they're going to roll over everybody in the end. What we saw happen in the microcosm of Paradise, Malibu, and Maui. Uh, in other words, if you watch these movies, because people, when they show it in the movies, people don't get it, but the movies like Constantine, big symbolism with Keanu Reeves, or with um, the latest Alice in Wonderland, or the Knowing. Knowing was another big one. That was with Nicolas Cage, I think. And then the Road, another one, The Road, and then on and on. I could ultimately bring you 20 movies where somewhere in that movie they show everything on fire, but they never tell you what that means. But that's why reading the symbolism is so important, because they're telling you in the future, right? Just like at the end of the movie, Knowing, when Nicolas Cage turns over the bed of that in that trailer where it was the woman's bed, and she was able to write in code on the underneath. What it did say? It said, "Everyone must go." Knowing. So the movie Knowing is telling you, you need to know this. You need to see that. And these people that burn Maui make the movies. It's the same culture. They all have different offices and different branches. And they all look different, but they're all in one league that is going somewhere in spite of us. Where there is no freedom. From all that I've learned and discovered, I can say this now: there is no freedom. There is only slave management. There is no conspiracy. It is organized management.
Yes. So you guys, I'm not sharing this to scare the bejeebies out of you. It is a scary thing to think about. When I first looked at this, I couldn't, from myself, I couldn't look at it because I didn't want to be afraid. I was like, I was like, no, this can't be real. And now I'm at a place where it's okay that this is real, because for God, there's a divine spirit. There is an infinite intelligence. And when I meditate and when I pray, I connect with that. And that is what is my lifeline. That is what inspires me to to take the next step, to run my life. And then also getting with friends, cleaning up my relationships with people, because I'm definitely not perfect. And just trying to be the best human that I can be, living sentient being, I should say, at this time in history, and trusting in this higher power. So that's our power. And this is why we can have hundreds of people opposing a bill and they still pass it. It's because it's not a government. It's not for the people.
They're
And
being told what to do. Go
we're
ahead.
being told what to do. So I still am going to be taking action against them, and seeing how we can remove peaceably these people who are not for the people out of their leadership positions, and pray that they voluntarily step down in a peaceful way. And it's really important to know the truth of what we're up against and what's going on. And so, Desert, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. This is part one of many. And again, we're going to just do a quick prayer, you guys. So let's go ahead and just relax into your seat. And Great Spirit, infinite intelligence of all things, mahalo so much for the truth. Mahalo so much for guiding me to Desert Owl. And so much. I just know that he is totally protected and also guided. He's been on this journey for over 50 years, and what he's endured is really challenging. So just sending him abundance and peace, light, and even joy in his heart and contentment. And all of those people who are watching and listening right now, just finding that part of your body that knows that there is a higher power. There is something greater than all of this evil. There is something greater that is moving the sun and beating our hearts and breathing our bodies and growing the plants in the soil. There's an infinite intelligence that surrounds us, and our job is to return to that infinite source to create a relationship. And Great Spirit, we just so much gratitude for that opportunity to create a relationship with you, Great Spirit, the infinite intelligence that has grown our fingernails and knows how to grow an arm versus a liver cell. So, Great Spirit, we just hold right now in our hearts that this evilness can be removed peaceably from the planet, and that we can have a world that is peaceful. And we just send that inner strength to Maui right now. We send it to all people who have had their homes burned. We send it to all people who have felt attacked. And we send it to anybody right now who feels alone and who has that feeling of fear. We send that to you, an infinite and a frequency of hope, a frequency of knowing that you're not alone, a frequency of knowing that you also are inspired to take whatever action it is, even if it's just start to grow your own food, or just to become friends with your farmer, or just to create a better relationship with your spouse or your children. Even if it's that, that will raise the frequency of this world. So, Great Spirit, we just give so much gratitude to all of the guides and all the angels that are with us at all times. We know that we are always kept safe. We know that through you, Great Spirit, that this world can be a better place. And so it is. Desert Owl, thank you so much for joining. So I'm going to say aloha to everyone. And if you want to hold on, we'll do a little quick powwow.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right.
Appreciate it.